Hey guys, I'm Joy and this is Joy's Beauty Johns. So, just got home from work, looking a little rough. Please don't judge me. I wanted to go ahead and go over the makeup I picked out for this week. I also want an opportunity to show you guys kind of how I've reorganized things. If you're interested in seeing what I picked out for my makeup this week, the way my collection is now set up, girl, just stay tuned, I got you. So as you can see, the setup along the top of my collection here looks a little bit different than it did. I had an opportunity to go ahead and pull all of my lipsticks out of my drawers, and I've set them up in a much more user-friendly manner. So I will go over all of this with you guys, and I'll show you what items I picked up from my stash this week. As you can see, I have my little bin here with some items in it. I did go ahead and pick out my stuff this morning because I needed to get ready for work and I didn't have a chance to film this yet. So I'll show you what I picked out, but then we're going to go over everything anyway. So for my palettes, I chose out the Carly Bible Deluxe Edition palette. BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible, is she not like the most gorgeous? Like, oh my goodness. So she made this beautiful palette with BH Cosmetics, and I really appreciate her attention to detail. I find these shades so wearable, very flattering, easily blendable. So this is just a great palette for the week. I had this palette in my on my chopping block. So this is the Clara Marrakech palette, and it's a really pretty palette. It's really colorful and stuff, but I've never really reached for it or used it. I don't know that much about Clara. I want to test this out and see if I like it, and if so, I'll put it back in my eyeshadow drawer, and if not, it's going to get decluttered. So we're going to test him out. For my face palette, I chose out the Cover FX, and I just love this palette. I've been using other palettes for a couple weeks to kind of give this one a rest, and so I pulled it back out for this week because I just adore it. For my blush, I chose the Urban Decay Afterglow in Video. It's just like a really pretty, kind of like nudish color. It's obviously kind of peachy, but it's like a really pretty, oh, that didn't swatch very well, did it? So you can see it's kind of like more of like a nude shade, and it's really, really pretty on the cheeks. It's not like your typical peach or pink. It's just a really warm, beautiful color, and I really love it. Of course, you guys know I have my KKW Beauty under eye powder. You can see my poor pan is getting bigger and bigger. So I do still need to order this because I cannot run out of this. This is like my holy grail of holiest of grails. For my bronzer, I pulled out the Hoola, my little mini Benefit bronzer. And that's basically because I just got those big palettes. Because I do have this little small size, and I have now 2 full-size Hoolas between those 2 palettes, I figured this was a great one to try. Plus, I just love it. For my setting spray, I'm using the Wet n Wild Coconut Photo Focus 3-in-1 Primer Water this week. I love this. I love this. If you are a coconut fan, if you enjoy the smell of coconut, I happen to love it. This is such a yummy, creamy coconut smell. It is just delicious. I really like it. The spray is a little intense, but if you hold it, your full arm's length away before you spray it, I think it mists very nicely, and it smells so good, and it's totally affordable. Wet n Wild is a great brand, super affordable. We'll totally repurchase this when I run out. Love it. For my foundation, I decided to go a little bit more luxe this week. I've been trying to get through my drugstore foundation so I could report back, but I have all these high-end foundations as well that I've been kind of neglecting unless I'm typically filming. And this Bobbi Brown was a first impression today. I was a little bit concerned that the color might be a little bit off because it's really light. However, it actually worked beautifully on my skin. I did experience a little bit of breaking up around my nose, but it didn't break up in an unattractive way, and I was able to just pat it with my finger and it kind of settled back into place. I really enjoy this, and I'm looking forward to using it the rest of the week. I also pulled out technically kind of 2.5 primers. I pulled out my No Problem primer, which I love using as a base, and then I went ahead on top of it with this backlight primer. If you guys saw my haul recently, I got the full size of this, so I want to try to get rid of these little tubes, make some more space in my primer drawer, so I pulled him out too. However, I also had this primer in my kind of my little declutter box. I'm going to go over the items with you guys that I'm thinking of decluttering in another video, but I had this guy in there and I'm like, you know what? Let me just test him one more time this week because he is supposed to be a blurring primer and just see. I have a feeling this one has like a really super chemically smell. If I'm remembering from when I used it before, it was this one in the Milani, but I will report back on this primer and I'll let you guys know if it ends up, well, you'll see in the declutter video if this guy's going to get decluttered or not. I'm going to try to make a point of using him this week just to see how I feel about him again. It's been a long time. For my setting powder, I chose out this Neutrogena Skin Clearing Mineral Powder. I really love this. It's just great to set my foundation. I find that if I don't set my foundation, my makeup can sometimes slip all over my face. I do it lightly because I do have dry skin, but I really do enjoy this powder quite a bit. For an option, if I wanted to try some loose setting powders, I picked out these two Kat Von D's. One is her translucent powder, locket powder, and this one's in peach. And basically, I want to see if I can like try this under my eyes to see if it helps cancel out some of that blue under eye, the dark circles. And I just want to kind of test it out if I'm brave. So we'll see if I get to these guys this week. Then for concealer, I chose out the Morphe concealer. I really have been enjoying this. I like it. I think it's worked well with my foundation today, and I'm looking forward to continuing to use it throughout the week. For my brows, of course, I'm sticking with the Urban Decay brow pencil. This is one that I'm just hoping to kind of get through. It's not a bad brow pencil at all, but I have others in my collection, the Benefit, the ABH Brow Wiz, as well as the NYX brow pencil that I actually like more than this one. And the NYX one I would highly recommend because it's only 10 bucks and I think it performs just as well as the Brow Wiz, to be honest. So this one I'm just kind of keeping to use it up because brow pencils, you know, they don't last forever. So I figure if I'm going to use one, let's use one that I'm not as crazy about and just kind of get through it. Then I still have my same Smashbox Fishnet eyeliner in, let's see, this is the Always On Gel Liner. So I've just been kind of keeping this. I don't wear eyeliner every day, but when I do, I really like this one. Then, of course, we've got my Marc Jacobs, which I'm trying to pan. And once I do, I'll open up one of my new mascaras. But this guy's just been a staple in my shop, my stash every week, because I would like to get through it. I love this mascara. I will totally repurchase this in the future, but I want to get through some of the ones that I have currently before I go ahead and do that. Then I also chose out the Essence Make Me Brow. I do have a couple more brow mascaras to try and test, but this one I do really like. I think it's about $2.99 at Ulta, so it's a really affordable option, and I think it works really well. Makes you have like nice fluffy brows. Of course, we have my Kat Von D in Thunderstruck for the inner corner. And then for lip products, I chose out the ABH in Nude, which is what I'm wearing currently. It's kind of like that concealery color. It's really pretty. And then I also chose out this Lorac in Supermodel. And I thought that would be like a pretty peachy pink option. You know, kind of balance out with the nude and the peachy pink. So that's my makeup for the week. But more importantly, I wanted to show you guys, as I'm dropping stuff, which is no surprise, but I wanted to show you guys how I've restructured my makeup collection. And I think you guys are really going to like it. I think it's going to make shopping my stash so much easier. And I think you guys are going to appreciate how organized it looks, hopefully. I'm very excited to share it with you. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so something I found very helpful for creating more space in my Alex 5 drawer was to take out all the lip products and also to organize them. The way I had previously had them organized, I was reaching for the same like 2 or 3 that I could get my hands on over and over again and not using the amount of lip products I actually have, like not really knowing what I had or if I had duplicates, which, you know, spoiler alert, I totally had dupes in my collection. Was very happy to go through everything, and now we have things more organized. So anyway, up here we have my Lime Crime. And I basically just have these Diamond Crush, I think they're called, or Diamond Bombs. Diamond Crushers. So I have them on the end. Ooh, let's be very careful. Okay, so I have them on the end here. I've got the little minis, the glosses, and then the velvet lipsticks. I've got this little plushie here, and then all the lip liners and the larger velveteen lipsticks. So all my Lime Crime is together and organized, and it looks really pretty. And it makes me want to like reach for them more. And then in the back of them is this little container of lip glosses and such. I have a lot of Lorac in here, and then I have Buxom here in the back, And then on the side we have some Laura Geller. So, and then this little guy here is all of those new Too Faced glitter lipsticks that I've recently found. Dolce & Gabbana, some Bite, and some Becca. And then moving down to this section here, I have these lip products. We've got all of our Too Faced right here. This is all basically MAC, and this is a Color Pop, and then those little Becca minis. And then this is basically all ABH with this little crayon and this little Stila kind of toss in, but mostly ABH. And then in this organizer, we've got all ABH and then Buxom. So it's nice to be able to see everything, to know what I have, and my little nude one goes right there, that little missing spot. So it's just nice to have things more organized and, you know, visible, where I can pull things out and look at them and actually see what lip products I have. And then if we move over to this section of lip products, I have all of the Lorac. You can see the little one we have pulled for this week goes right here, but a bunch of Lorac lipsticks. And then on this side over here, we have Bare Minerals. We have the taller liquid lipsticks, or regular size lipsticks here, some smaller liquid lipsticks, and then all those little minis. So now I can just like kind of reach everything and see what I have. And I feel like I'm going to get a lot better use out of stuff when it's right in front of my face. Everything's easily accessible, easy to take out, easy to put away. Really happy. The only thing in here that's not Bare Minerals are these two minis that are Too Faced little mini lipsticks, itty bitty little babies, as well as this babiest of all babies, itty teeny tiny Charlotte Tilbury, boop, itty bitty lipstick. It's like a Barbie lipstick. So now I feel like I'll actually use them, potentially use them up, which would be great. And then in the back of the section didn't really change. I've got the little Morphe. Let's move you in a little bit. The back of this didn't change too much. It's still these little Morphe glitter liners. And of course these two liquid liners and this little pot of glitter. So I feel like this is much better than it was, and it's allowed me to make room in other areas by pulling all these lip products out. Then stored behind, I also have this container of lip products. So this is all Too Faced here, a Marc Jacobs. This is all Kylie. I think this is Urban Decay. Yeah, Urban Decay and Becca. So I've got this little guy as well. I appreciate so much that I can actually see stuff now and be able to access stuff. So anyway, let's move back to the front. We'll put this little pineapple back. He fits pretty nicely in there, I think. So this didn't change too much. This is still my kind of everyday, mostly like brow stuff, lash glue. And then this drawer is basically, I have my little MAC paint pots and stuff in here. This is all basically like primers, like eyeshadow primers, some contouring sticks, you know, little pot concealers. I think it's this little brightening kind of deodorant stick from Marc Jacobs. And then in this drawer, I have all of my eyeliners and lip liners. It's a little bit crowded right now, which I don't love, but I'm grateful to have them not taking up space in my drawers. And then down here, I put my mascaras. So I think this is, it makes so much more sense. It's so much more accessible. Super duper happy about this. And then these are still foundations, nothing's changed there. But this bottom section, I actually went ahead and put all of my smaller highlighters. Let's get you guys a little closer to the action. All right, so in this bottom drawer, you can see I have all my little mini highlighters, little teeny Fenty. I've got the new little Artist Couture in there, some little mini Beccas, little Laura Gellers, cute teeny tiny itty bitty Beccas. So like, it's just great to have all of these more easily accessible. I've got a tiny little Kevin Aquan in there. So I feel like this way, if I can see it, I'll use it. So I have, these were kind of like buried in the back of my drawer before, and I couldn't really get to them without pulling everything else out. So I'm really happy to have that new setup. So let's get into the drawers. All right, so opening up the first drawer, this hasn't changed too much, other than I've had to kind of stack some of these guys on top of each other so there was room for more. So I've got all my setting powders in here. I even have these little Bare Minerals foundation, and then I have like, I think a blush and a highlighter in powder form. I'd actually like to do like a whole full face of Bare Minerals and try to do a full mineral look. And I have some bronzers back here that I did not declutter. I think these are the only ones that kind of made the cut. I had a bunch of bronzers that I kind of put sticking towards the back of this drawer that I just was like running out of room for. And I thought, maybe over the summer I can use them to kind of bronze my body. And that way I'll still get my use out of them. But I was just running out of room. I was like, how many bronzers am I going to put on my body? You know, really, how many do I need? So I decluttered a bunch of them, which I'll go over my declutter video. And I just hung on to these two that I think will be nice options for body bronzing. So they're in the back of the drawer. And I've got my little foundation powders here. I also have this little Japanesque foundation that I found at TJ Maxx. I didn't even know they made makeup products. I haven't tried this foundation yet. I have him in here because this is kind of where he fits, and he comes with this cool little spatula, which I think will be actually really handy for other things like my lip sleeping mask from Laneige. So love this little Japanesque. He's hanging out in there. And then just a bunch of like loose setting powders and stuff. So that's this drawer. That didn't change too much. This drawer changed quite a bit, ladies. So excited. I actually finally just went ahead and bought 3 more of these little containers. So I'll take out the highlighter one. So if I take out this highlighter, I can just slide this little guy forward, and there's the rest of my highlighters. So I'm really happy not to have big, bulky acrylic things in this drawer anymore and to have it more streamlined and organized. The blushes go the whole way back, the bronzers go back, and I actually have some open slots in my blushes and bronzers, which is like wonderful. My highlighters, not so much. My highlighters, I'm like, you know, I have a ton, but I also have that drawer of the little highlighters. So I want to just make sure that I'm getting my use out of them, that I'm enjoying the products that I have, and that I'm making sure that my collection only has products in it that I really and truly love. Okay, so let's get you guys a little closer to the action again. This drawer is definitely one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite drawer. This makes me so happy. So if you guys recall, I had my face palettes over here. I had like a bunch of lipsticks going the whole way back. It was just crazy. Everything was like shoved to the back. I couldn't really access anything. And now it is so much better. These were all pushed into the back, these face palettes, and I wasn't really reaching for them. So now everything is right in my face where I'll see it, and I'm so thrilled. So I have my 2 little Benefit palettes here that were recent, and my Icon pigments. Then these guys, this Anastasia Glow Kit as well as the Kiki W, are now front and center, so I'll hopefully get more use out of them. There's also this little Makeup Revolution, beautiful, as I throw things, beautiful highlighter palette. Now I'll actually see this and hopefully use this more, as well as, I don't know if you guys have seen these in TJ Maxx recently, those little Makeup Revolution highlighter bricks that are basically imitating this Bobbi Brown one. So I have this, but I never use it because I never remember that I even have it. So I'm really excited for that. And then I was able to better organize my face palettes here. So I have the new over highlighters right here with my flower. I have the Laura Geller here and the ColourPop. My MAC highlighter trios, those Hyper Real Glows, pink and gold. And a little Smashbox highlighter and Butter London. I have my new Smashbox face palette in here, as well as this Urban Decay Sin palette that I found at Nordstrom Rack. Thank you, Leora, for the heads up about these fabulous products at Nordstrom Rack. I also put my Tarte Pro Glow blush palette here. And then we've got my Too Faced, we've got my Anastasia Beverly Hills, and my little Cover FX palette fits in here as well. So it's organized. I love all of these products. I cannot wait to use them. I love all of this. This makes me so happy. Then I have all my Stila Glitter and Glows and Shimmer and Glows in here, minis, you know, middle size and the large ones. Also, I have the Lorac blush palette here along the side, so I remember to use that. And this made me super duper happy. By moving my eyeliners and lip liners to the drawer, I was able to free up this little acrylic container, which actually fits these little cream blushes and bronzers and highlighters so much better. I actually now will have access to them and I can use them and reach for them instead of them just being crowded in the back of the drawer where I'll never see them. And I have a little highlighter in here from Model Zone that I love, basically just keeping this kind of together. And then I was also able to put this Too Faced blush in the back along with these 2 ABH trios, and it just kind of keeps these from falling over. Plus I wasn't using these as much, and I feel like now I'll use them more. So let's put this little guy back. All right, and then towards the back of the drawer where you can't really see, let's see. So I have some palettes here. My goodness. All right, so I have this little Clara blush palette, my new Shade and Light Cream Contour, this Sculpt and Glow from Model Zone, which is another blush palette, and this little Morphe highlighter, as well as my little e.l.f. shadow strip. So this was all kind of like face-ish, so I wanted to keep these kind of together. And then towards the very back of the drawer, I have my Moxie lashes. I just got 2 new pairs. I used my code. It was so cool to see $10 come off my order with my own little name. So I got the Sassy lashes and the Classy lashes, and I had tried the Flashy lashes in the video. So I'll show you guys these real quick. This is the Sassy lashes, really beautiful. And we have the Classy lashes, which look like they could be like perfect even if you wanted to wear lashes to work though. Very, very happy. And just for reference, this is the Flashy lash. Each one of these market for about $35, but with my code you can save 15%. I don't get any commission. I'm not here for that. It's just savings, and I wanted to pass those along to you guys. Moxie Lash was wonderful to offer such a great promotion, so it was a really good deal. But towards the back here, I actually have all of my liquid highlighters. Move these Steel Glitter and Glows out of the way. Here's all my liquid highlighters. I have a bunch of them, and I don't reach for these very often, but I do want to get into them. I do want to use them, so I still want them in my collection, but they don't need to take up space in the front of my drawer because they're not something I reach for every day. These would be like more like a special occasion if I wanted to cream contour, try to do a full face of cream products or something. These would be great, and I'm sure they're fine to be used over powder and stuff. It's just, they make me nervous, so I don't reach for them as often, and so they're all together, they're beautiful, and great products, but they're fine in the back of my drawer because they're not an everyday thing that I reach for. So I will put these guys back, and we will move into drawer number 4. Drawer number 4 is just eyeshadow palettes. So I have all that in here. Towards the back of this drawer, you can't really see it, but I have a bunch of Profusion palettes back there. I do want to test these. I have like a bunch of Profusion. I even have a Pro Contour from Profusion that I bought a while back before I really knew what different brands were or who was good or who was bad. I picked this up from TJ Maxx for like $4. And because I tended to go through these top colors so fast in other contour palettes I picked up, so I'm like, let me just pick up a backup. And then I came to learn more about Profusion, and I'm like, good call, Joy, because Profusion is a great brand. And so I want to learn more about their products. I want to learn more about their palettes. What I've tried so far I've really liked, but I haven't delved into like a lot of the colors, 1 or 2 or 3 shades from a couple of the palettes that I have, and I've loved the way they've performed so far. They're really blendable. They're not so pigmented that the second your brush hits your eye, you're like trying to blend frantically to get it not to be this giant splotch on your eyelid. So I really enjoy those, but they're back here because I do want to like test them. I may be, you know, if I find ones I like or don't like, I might be decluttering. They're still kind of in that like testing period, but the rest of these are more high-end palettes, and I also have more palettes in this drawer. Here's a better view of the bottom drawer. I've got my ColourPop palettes here, my BH Cosmetics for the most part, some Pure mixed in, some Tarte and Too Faced and such. And I've got smaller palettes here in this little container, some loose eyeshadows, and then towards the back are some larger palettes and, you know, ones that just were a little too tall to stand up. So tons of eyeshadow palettes, but more manageable now and not like so much noise and clutter in my drawer. So very happy to have things that I love, that I know I love, both high-end and drugstore, and I'm excited to continue to add, and I'm happy to have some space to grow. Not a huge amount of space, but I have some space to grow in some of my drawers, including in my little blush and bronzer drawer. There's actually some room to put some things, so it was just really, that was not helpful, was it? So I now have some room in my blush and bronzer and highlight drawer. Not so much for more highlighters, but at least for some blushes and some bronzers. I was able to make some room in here, and I love this new setup. This is the way it should have been from the gate. I didn't order enough of these things in the beginning, and I tried to make it work, but ultimately I really just wanted my drawer to have this type of setup, and I'm really, really happy. Amazon's really great. If you're interested in these acrylic holders, or even this acrylic holder, oh, or this lip gloss one. If you just reference my makeup organization video, I have all of the links for Amazon where I purchased them from, and you guys can go ahead and order them too if you're interested. None of them were very expensive at all, so I love them. So that's basically what my collection looks like now. Those are the items I picked out for this week, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. If you are not currently subscribed, I would love to have you subscribe if you would consider it. My channel is really small, and the only way it can grow is with your support. So I really, really appreciate it. If you're interested, I'd love to have you as part of the fam. Thank you so much again. I love you guys. Until next time, bye. As well as the